this issue of public participation and the nature of the bill, how it is to be treated, with your counterpart, the Speaker of the National Assembly, given the fact, Mr. Speaker, that as it is today, the way the bill is fashioned, it includes provisions that actually affect our operations as the Senate. Yet the Senate is not involved, Mr. Speaker, in the public participation exercise. If you have followed the debates across the country, while there's a very good presentation by the staff and the technical team from the National Assembly on the roles and the importance of CDF, for example, Mr. Speaker, nothing is being said about Senate Oversight Fund. I have seen, Mr. Speaker, with a lot of trouble, members of the public struggle to understand what is the purpose of this Senate Oversight Fund. And there's nobody from the Senate, Mr. Speaker, that has accompanied them on this exercise to sensitize the public. Therefore, we look as if, Mr. Speaker, we are being bribed as senators, Mr. Speaker, just to accommodate CDF. I feel slighted, Mr. Speaker. I feel bad, Mr. Speaker, because as a senator, I have survived over 10 years without Senate Oversight Fund, Mr. Speaker. It's not even a big issue to some of us, Mr. Speaker, but because as an institution, we made a decision that we will operate better and fulfill our mandate, constitutional mandate better, Mr. Speaker, in the presence of this fund. That shouldn't it concern you, Mr. Speaker? The way your house is being projected in these public gatherings, Mr. Speaker, given that the members of staff from National Assembly who do the presentation of issues before members of the public eventually give their views on this issue, are only doing a presentation of CDF and its benefits, Mr. Speaker. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, I want to request that you either grant a ruling or a communication to this House on how this matter is going to be treated, because we do not want to enter into a contest with our sister House, Mr. Speaker, where when the time comes for this House, Mr. Speaker, to also do public participation, we could give the other view of how CDF should be run, Mr. Speaker, without any involvement of members of the National Assembly or otherwise, Mr. Speaker, but I don't think that is the route that we need to go. But you need to guide this House, Mr. Speaker, whether this is a matter that you discussed with your colleague and how this House can be represented in the days, because I know they are still going to do this, I think, for the next 2 weeks before a report is returned to this House, Mr. Speaker. I beg for your indulgence, Mr. Speaker, because I know this projects the image of this House, and it goes, Mr. Speaker, to cast very bad light many of the senators that come from those counties where public participation is being done, and members of the public imagine that we are just looking for a kickback so that we can pass the CDF amendment. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The Senate Majority Leader, whatever is happening in the National Assembly, the Senate has not been involved in it. When the time comes that the Senate is involved, we shall be able to respond appropriately. But at this juncture, maybe my advice to you, Majority Leader, you need to get hold of your counterpart. You know, as speakers, we don't move any motions or bills. It must have been moved by your counterpart in the National Assembly. Kindly get hold of your counterpart to understand exactly what is happening in the National Assembly. But as far as I'm concerned, the Senate has not been involved. We have not received any communication concerning the process that is taking place across the country, and therefore I'm afraid I may not be able to comment on it now. But you have a better avenue as the Senate Majority Leader to get hold of your counterpart in the National Assembly to understand. Only then you can bring a substantive business before the Senate for me to make a ruling. Yeah.
Speaker, you know this is not a very simple matter, because it's not just a normal bill. It's the first time Parliament is trying to amend the Constitution. Therefore, we expected that at least there would be guidance from the office of the Speaker, because there are even further technical issues that will arise. Forget about Senate Oversight Fund. The ability to amend, Mr. Speaker. I thought that when we did the NADCO report, and it was passed here, I saw even our JLAC, the report that they brought before this House, they said that you jointly must set the rules of how a constitutional amendment is to be done, because what happens in the other house affects what we will eventually be able to do in this particular house, Mr. Speaker. Therefore, I think while I take your advice and I will do what you have guided me to do, I want to humbly request, Mr. Speaker, that you equally engage your counterpart so that more issues beyond the content of the bill are resolved, especially particularly on the issue of procedure, Mr. Speaker, because that is something that will affect how we handle constitutional amendment bills even in the future, Mr. Speaker.
Very well. Next order.
Order number 4, petitions. Order number 5, papers.
Senate Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to lay the following papers on the table of the Senate. Today, Tuesday, the 6th of May, 2025. This is the Kenya National Commission on Human Rights Annual Report for the financial year 2023-2024. And 2, report of the Auditor General on the financial statements of Narok County Climate Change Fund for the year ended 30th June 2024. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Chairperson, Standing Committee on Finance and Budget.